weeks ago, a group of people set out from Mallinhead in Donegal to walk to Dublin. They're doing this, they say, as a form of protest against the government's ongoing austerity measures. At this stage, they've walked nearly 500 kilometres, and they will finish their journey tomorrow at the National Convention Centre, where the Fine Gael Ardèche is being held. They've taken a little detour from their route to be here tonight, so would you welcome, please, Joe Murphy, John Wilson, Helen Mitchell, Seamus Key and Phil McFadden. All right then, Joe, tell us about the walk, will you? What happened? Why did you start it?
We just had enough, simple as that. We felt we had to do something, and just wanted to do something that would kind of would keep it in people's minds up until the 31st of March. And we thought, you know...
You came up with the idea initially, didn't you?
Well, a friend of mine came up with it.
What did he say?
He was on about a march in 1969.
Yes.
From Belfast to Derry. He says when it started there was 10 or 15, and when it finished up at the end there was thousands.
Yes.
So that kind of got me thinking, and he was suggesting doing from one end of Donegal to the other.
Yeah.
And I thought, why not bring it to the government?
What's your story, Joe? Tell me about yourself.
I'm unemployed now. I'm a small builder, plaster by trade.
Yeah.
The last budget, I was expecting something new, a new government, you know, new ideas, stuff like that. Nah, nothing.
And what's the work situation for you at the moment?
There's nothing out there. There's absolutely nothing out there, and you know, work has to come into this country somehow.
So, have you taken part in any protests like this before? Have you been active?
Yeah, after the last budget, whenever I discovered there was nothing in the budget to actually create work for the ordinary person, I decided to do a 25-mile-an-hour protest from Buncrana to the Dáil. So I did that before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I done a protest then a week before Christmas in Letterkenny, and there was 400 showed up.
Yeah.
So everybody was saying about trying to unite all the groups, you know. So we called then a meeting on the 3rd of January to kind of try and call all the interested groups together.
Yeah.
And we formed Donegal Action Against Austerity from that.
John, why did you get involved in the walk?
Well, like Joe, I belong to a group that meets regularly in Buncrana in Donegal. It's called the Walk4Change.
Yeah.
It meets on a monthly basis. And we look at various different issues, maybe some that don't always make the mainstream media. For example, things like the secret history of Ireland. And basically my philosophy was, if you want to change things, then I would go with what Gandhi said, you've got to be the change that you want to see happen. And if we want to see change happen in this country, we've got to get a lot more people sort of adopting that kind of philosophy, going out and actually doing what they want to actually see occur in the country.
And you're a retired school teacher, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
And how are things in the country affecting you personally in your home?
Well, I live in the north, and yes, I can see lots of issues around me. People not be able to pay their mortgages, people not able to pay their day-to-day bills. And we're told all the time that about austerity measures, and we're told about by the government that we must do this, we must do that. And I believe that ordinary people need to get their power back.
Here's the walk, right? This gives people at home and here today the nature of the trek, if you want to call it. That's a long old walk, Mallinhead via Sligo and on into Dublin. And you have a bit of arthritis and
That's right.
And all the rest of it. Did you ever think of pulling out of the thing? Or
not at all. I did a little bit of preparation beforehand, and we pace ourselves.
Okay.
And if we've had too much, we can always climb into the van and let somebody else take over.
Okay. Helen?
Yes.
Why did you decide to join the walk?
Because my son lost his SNA at the school, and just everything just starts to build up after that.
Okay. Why did your son have an SNA, a special needs assistant?
Because he has ADHD.
Okay. And do you know the reasons why the SNA the assistant was withdrawn?
Just every time we went down to have a meeting with the ones over the ADHD crowd.
Yeah.
Just automatically said he was only allowed an hour, half an hour, and everything was taken away eventually.
And what's the effect been on your son since the SNA's gone?
He's just behind, and she can't cope in the class with other children. She has to teach other children as well.
And do you think doing this walk is going to help things?
Well, we're hoping to get that way anyway.
Okay, Seamus, what's your personal story? Why did you end up on the walk?
I ended up because roughly about a year ago, Ryan, I was on full-time employment.
Yeah.
I went to part-time employment. Then, seems a lot of people obviously in the country.
What were you doing, Seamus?
I worked in the Creamery in
Yeah.
Killygarden, Donegal. I got to the stage, you know what I mean, the same bills were coming in. You still had to pay the same bills, but with less money. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if they bring in the charges that we are protesting against, that they're talking about bringing in, you know what I mean, it's going to be that I'm not going to be able to pay them. So that's why I got involved with it.
And do you think, I'll put the same question as I mentioned there to Helen, do you think that the walk is going to achieve something? Do you think it's a symbolic thing? Or what do you think when you finish the walk tomorrow and you head home, what do you think how will you reflect on it?
Yeah. Well, when I go home, I hope to think, you know, when you get home, you'd like to think, when you look back, that the government actually have seen what we've done. For me, I think it's going to be symbolic because I think they're going to have to stand up and listen, and I think we are giving them we're making our voices heard to the government.
Do you think they'll listen, Philip?
Maybe, but the people of Ireland have to actually stand up. The thing that gets in my craw is the promissory notes. The way these Anglo-Irish banks are being paid back billions and billions of pounds, while the ordinary people of Ireland have to take the suffering. Like these, the minister has kicked the can down the road, and he has deferred the payments. But these deferred payments mean that our children and our grandchildren will be paying debts in years and years to come. Austerity will be in this country for as far as they can see.
Are you surprised that Irish people tend to be quite passive about what's happening in the country, in a way that if you look at Spain during the week, you look at Greece, which is of course we know in even a more desperate scenario than we are, the French will strike at the drop of a hat because it's a Tuesday or Wednesday, but they tend to be up in arms and they tend to be angrier. We seem to be, I mean, your walk being an exception, but generally we seem to be quite passive about these things.
Yeah, well, for a country that was born from a revolution.
That's what I'm wondering. What happened to the revolutionary spirit?
Like the fluoride they're putting on their water.
You're going to blame the fluoride?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the answer, but what were you going to say?
Well, there's probably lots of reasons. People have got to, they've got probably too used to, having money or whatever, I think the Irish people do have to actually get up and react to something that's not right. It's unjust.
Okay, so Joe, when you get to the Fine Gael Ardèche tomorrow at the convention centre, what's the plan?
Well, we're setting off tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock from Phoenix Park, and we're going to meet up with buses then from Donegal and all around the country as well, in O'Connell Street, and from there down to the Fine Gael Ardèche, and we're going to have a peaceful demonstration, and hopefully the government will listen, and it's the last day to register for the household charge, and I hope the government will get the message. That was the idea of the walk from the start, to keep it in the mindset of the Irish people, not to register, not to pay, all the way through past Paddy's Day and everything else, because St Patrick's Day was the tipping point whether it was going to kind of go or not. And I knew once we got past St Patrick's Day and they weren't registering, I knew we kind of...
The registration seems to be gathering a bit of momentum in the last certainly 12 hours. I don't know if it's enough, but certainly it's happening. So we'll see where that goes in the next 24 hours, clearly. Yeah. Were you heartened by the company of strangers, by people along the road, or did you get abuse, or did you get cheers, or what sort of reaction were you getting from...
Well, the ordinary people of Ireland are brilliant. They're absolutely, the hospitality we have received coming down that road is just unreal.
Really?
The people of Ireland, there's nothing wrong with the people of Ireland. It's what governs us is the problem, because we've had people give out of their beds. We've had vans stop, give us tea. It was just unreal, and it revitalised me and probably the whole lot of us on the way down the road, actually seeing that the people of Ireland are so good and generous.
Okay, well, I hope you get a long bath and a rest after all. It's been extraordinary a while for you. But Joe, tomorrow night when you get home and you're having a glass of something or a cup of something, What do you hope you will have achieved?
I just want the government to listen.
Just to
And
listen.
listen to the Irish people. You know, do what's right for the Irish people, not what's right for Germany. You know, we need a government that's going to run this country for the good of the Irish people. End of.
And that's it. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, thank you so much for coming in. I want to thank you. Thank you very much.